What is going on, friends? Thank you so much for joining us on this special Sports from the Couch NXT Takeover New York prediction special that we're doing here live on Facebook and on YouTube, everywhere in the whole universe. We really appreciate you guys making us a part of your afternoon before the big show. So we won't spend too much time wasting because the show is right around the corner. The pre-show starts in about half an hour. So why don't we go ahead and start off with the first matchup here on NXT Takeover New York on the WWE Network. It is the War Raiders versus the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Champions, Aleister Black and Ricochet. Aleister Black and Ricochet will be on the main card of WrestleMania this Sunday, and I don't think that they're going to be walking in with the NXT Championships. The War Raiders are very popular among the independent scene. They really haven't had a chance to really shine on the main cards over on NXT, but, you know, again, it's not like Raw and SmackDown where they have 5 hours of television every single week. But I think in this case, as much as they're going to want to protect Aleister and Ricochet, this is, I think, their farewell match, and I think the War Raiders will win this and retain the tag team titles, and we will see what happens with Ricochet and Aleister Black in the main card of WrestleMania coming up on Sunday. But I think the War Raiders retain their championship. How about this? I saw when Pete Dunne won that United Kingdom NXT Championship match in Chicago, NXT TakeOver 2, I believe, and he will be defending it against the new upstart of NXT UK in Walter, this dominant figure that was dominating all over the independent scene in the United Kingdom, overseas. This is going to be an interesting matchup. I think in this one, I'm going to go with Walter. I think it's only a matter of time until Pete Dunne makes a bigger move either to main NXT or to the main roster. But with the way they were hyping up Walter the last few weeks, especially with the after the first NXT UK takeover over in the United Kingdom, I definitely think they're going to give it to Walter. So I think in this one we have a new NXT United Kingdom champion in Walter, finally ending the streak of Pete Dunne. How about this in a fatal four-way match for the NXT Women's Championship? You have Shayna Baszler defending the title against Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, and Kairi Sane. This is an interesting one. I think Io Shirai and Kairi Sane, I think they... See, I don't know whether they're going to go main roster or not. I don't know whether or not they think that they're ready for that main push over on Monday Night Raw or on SmackDown. But if, for some reason, Shayna does leave, if Ronda does leave after WrestleMania, I think Shayna could really just slip into that spot and be that dominant heel for a few months until Rousey gets back. I really love Io. I think she's amazing. Kairi Sane's amazing. But I think the diamond in the rough, the one that's really going to shine in this one is Bianca Belair. She's super young, super athletic. She gets the business. She gets how to interact with fans. She's definitely a fan favorite. And whether she's a heel or a face, I think Bianca Belair, this is her time. I think Shayna's going to come up with the superstar shakeup. But I definitely think in this fatal four-way match, she's going to be very interesting. But I'm going to go with Bianca Belair winning her first ever NXT Women's Championship. How about this one? My personal favorite wrestler from the independent scene, the King of Bros, Matt Riddle, versus the Velveteen Dream for the NXT North American Championship. This is going to be a really great match. I think Velveteen Dream is everything that is sports entertainment today, especially in WWE. I think Matt Riddle has that it factor that people just are born with, and him coming from that legit MMA background, and also being a fan of this, and really leaning into his gimmick and the company leaning into it. This is a perfect matchup between two personalities that just scream WWE. This has the potential to steal the show for the night. We'll see exactly how that plays out with the main event. But I think in this one, I think they're going to give it to Matt Riddle. I think they're going to give it to the King of Bros, and I'll explain to you why in a little bit. But the Velveteen Dream's title reign at the North American Championship ends at NXT TakeOver New York as the King of Bros wins the championship. And in the main event, in a 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Championship, it is Adam Cole, baby, and Johnny Gargano, Johnny Takeover. This is going to be a hell of a match. It's a shame that Tommaso Ciampa had to have surgery and they had to take the title away from him. Hopefully he comes back, with a speedy recovery. One of our favorites. I saw him at a house show when NXT first made their way to the Portage Theater here in Chicago. But this match is going to be awesome. I think because Matt Riddle's going to beat the Velveteen Dream, it's setting up because we're going to have ourselves a face champion, and that is Johnny Gargano winning the NXT championship at NXT TakeOver New York, making it go full circle, allowing them the opportunity that maybe Ciampa comes back to take his title in a few months in that type of amazing storyline that, again, we didn't see coming, and just adds another layer to this rivalry that maybe one day gets up to the main roster. And Adam Cole is so young, he's going to have plenty of opportunities. This is nowhere near where it's going to end for him, but I definitely think that we are setting ourselves up for a Velveteen Dream Johnny Gargano matchup, but it's going to be a really cool show. I really think that NXT TakeOvers never disappoint. And here's the thing, I've been to all three in Chicago. Has it been three? It's been two. I've been to all of them here in Chicago, and they have been some of the most fun I've ever had at a wrestling event. And what's special about it is just the pacing of it, what it means to some of these guys, and just the level is right there. And unlike WrestleMania, which is going to be 15 matches, and, as wrestling fans, and just for that content, we like that. But that's a long day compared to what we're going to get here for NXT TakeOver New York. But I'm super excited. So why don't we do a quick rundown? Before we do that, let's take a quick break here on Sports from the Couch, our NXT TakeOver New York City edition. We'll be right back. We'll run down our final predictions of NXT TakeOver. Thanks for keeping it with us, guys. All right, guys, before we wrap it up here, please make sure you guys are following us all over the universe. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333. I'm on Instagram at MikeMercado2333. Follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. We have a pop culture podcast that you can follow on Twitter at Good Brothers Pod. We also have a true crime show that you can follow on Instagram at Murder, Mysteries, and More. All our episodes on all these shows are on your favorite podcast platform. Just look us up at Mercado Airwaves. Like, rate, review, and share us. It really means the world to us. You also know, if you're watching the show, that the main event of this year's WrestleMania will have Becky Lynch in it. She might win both titles against Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. She was on this very network, and you can check out that interview right now. But if you're a subscriber to us on patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, you will get that interview and all our interviews ad-free before anybody else with athletes and celebrities. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Just look us at Mercado Airwaves Network or Mike Mercado 2333. And a huge shout out to Munch Art Design for powering us here on the network. But we've been running down all of NXT TakeOver New York, and we give you one last rundown in case you missed the beginning of our show. We have the War Raiders beating Ricochet and Aleister Black. Aleister Black and Ricochet, this should be their swan song in the gold and black brand, and we'll see what happens with the War Raiders moving forward. We have Pete Dunne and Walter. Walter will finally be the one that ends the over 650-day title reign of Pete Dunne in a four-way match between Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, and Bianca Belair. We have the young upstart in Bianca Belair beating Shayna, Io, and Kairi. Shayna probably coming up after WrestleMania, depending on what happens with Ronda. We'll talk about that on the preview show this very Sunday on the network with the good brother Alex. But we have Bianca Belair, the EST of NXT, winning her first women's championship. And in my match of the night, something I'm super excited for, my personal favorite wrestler back in the indie scene, Matt Riddle, the King of Bros, takes on the Velveteen Dream for the NXT North American Championship. And I think the Velveteen Dream is on his way to a NXT World Championship preview and show. So I think the King of Bros wins his first title in WWE, one of many, I assume, for both of these men. And this should be a hell of a match, hell of an entertaining match. But in the main event, for 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Championship, Johnny Takeover, Johnny Gargano against Adam Cole, baby, from the Undisputed Era for the NXT Championship. I think obviously this Tommaso Ciampa, regardless of what the situation was going to be, I thought Johnny Gargano is walking out with the NXT Championship, and this allows NXT to have a babyface champion, which they haven't had in a little while, and it allows Adam Cole to come back to the situation. The first program I think is going to be with Velveteen Dream, and depending what happens with Tommaso Ciampa, maybe that will be one of the first rivalries later down into the year. But that'll do it for us, guys, on this episode, our prediction show on Sports from the Couch here on the Mercado Airwaves Network for NXT TakeOver New York. We hope you guys enjoy the show. We hope you guys make your predictions. Let us know all over social media, who do you think is going to win and who did you pick against mine? Let's have some fun with it. Otherwise, enjoy the show. We will see you this Sunday for our WrestleMania prediction show with the good brother himself, Alex Mercado. In the meantime, check out our interview with the man herself, Becky Lynch. For everybody here on the Mercado Airwaves Network and Sports from the Couch, thank you so much. I'm Mike Mercado.